Hey guys, it's Ian here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we're going to be talking about Barbaric, the comic book published by Vault Comics, written by Michael Moresi, and drawn usually by Nathan Gooden, right? So I want to talk about this today because Vault, about 2 weeks ago, I think, launched a crowd building campaign over on Zoop. Now, they call that crowd building campaign because the first tier reward on this crowdfunding campaign website, Zoop, Z-O-O-P, is actually for free. So you just sign up and you get the first thing that they're giving out for free. And the thing that they're giving out is the first issue in the 4th volume of the Barbaric series, right? So it's the 4th volume in the sense that in the main storyline, it's the 4th part of the story, but it's actually like the 6th part of the story. Like it's the 6th entry into the universe, right? Because there was the original series, the 2nd series, then Harvest Blades. I think maybe Harvest Blades was after the 1st series. I can't remember. And there was the something about No Righteousness, I think, that was done by Nicholas Ames. I think that was his name. And then there's the Queen of Swords series, right? So there's 5 things already out. Barbaric, Born in Blood is the next volume. That would be the 6th installment into the universe, but the 4th installment into the main storyline, if that makes sense. Sorry if that was confusing. And it comes out in May, but if you sign up for the Soup, you get the PDF for the first volume, I think, or sorry, for the first issue, a month ahead of when it's releasing for market, right? And it's kind of interesting, and I think they did it because of this, right? So Vault has been doing this approach to the way they do publishing for comic books that puts the comic book store first, right? So the first issue of the series they give to the comic book store for free, which I think usually they get charged like $2, and then the price on the actual comic is $4 or something, so they make $2 off of it. I think that's how it works. But Vault has been giving it out to comic book stores for free, and so since they're already doing that, they're going to do this. It might cannibalize sales a little bit, I think. But it might not, because it's such a cool hype kind of thing that it might make it so more people check out the series overall, right? So I don't know. I'm sure they did a lot of investigating onto the possible like issues that this might have in the market, right? So there probably aren't any, or they're very minimal or negligible, right? But since they already do that, I guess that they thought, well, we might as well just make it open to the public for this case, build some hype, and do this kind of thing, right? So I want to talk about the Zoop campaign that they're doing right now, and then I want to talk about the series in case you haven't really caught up to it or you don't really know what's going on with it, so that you can kind of know if you want to join this crowd building campaign or not, right? So I'm just going to read off some quick little bits from the Zoop here. So it says the title of this is Barbaric, Join the Horde by Vault Comics. It's the first issue of the new Barbaric series, Born in Blood, plus some exclusive loot for the biggest and baddest fans, right? So yeah, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll leave a link to the campaign down below. But basically, as long as you sign up, you get the first issue of the new series for free. It's a digital download, and it comes out sometime in April. I think April 15th or something. And if you pay money, you can claim the Zoop exclusive cover for the first issue in a physical edition. Or you can get all 3 of the issues that are going to come out with the Zoop exclusive covers for $15. Or if you want the covers, like the virgin art of the covers, you can get that for $30. You can get the Zoop exclusive collected edition version, so the trade paperback, for $30. And you can get all 3 of the Zoop exclusive things for $65. That would be 6 issues plus a trade paperback, right? There's also like merchandise and apparel stuff. So there's a Barbaric enamel pin for $15. There's an awesome Barbaric t-shirt for $60. That's a bit expensive for my taste, but the shirt looks awesome, and it has the cover for the first issue of the whole series, right? If you pay $175, you can get this, they call it a remarquee cover, which has like a signature and stuff on it, which is pretty cool. There's only 15 of those. That's, again, a bit out of my price range, but I do appreciate all of the options. If you pay $10, you can get the first trade paperback. If you pay $15, you get the second one. If you pay 15 again, you get the third one. You can also buy the Queen of Swords trade, and you can buy the Volume 1 hardcover, which is the only hardcover they did. And I hope that this is because they decided that it wasn't really worth it right now, and instead are working towards making a Barbaric, omnibus that is hardcover. I think that would be much better. And as long as they did it chronologically, where they were like, okay, all of the Barbaric series, we're gonna map it out in such a way that we can make all of it into hardcovers without having to split it up between spin-offs and main series. I don't really know, but there's that. If you pay $35, you can get all 3 of the trade paperbacks instead of having to pay each of them individually, and I think you save $5 that way. If you pay $100, you can get every Barbaric issue ever digitally. Yeah, every Barbaric issue already out, and any of them that might come in the future for $100. Only digitally, right? If you want to do it physically, I think you got to pay something else. Let me see. Yeah, the Tree Slayer rank, which is $250, that one gives you all of the books until the end of time in physical format, and I think that means only the issues. I can't remember. Let me see if I can figure it out here. Okay, it's only the collected editions, so you got to wait a while, right? You have to wait until after they print the collected edition. I don't know if this includes hardcovers and omnibuses. I'm sure it doesn't, but this is a way for you to do that. And at the beginning of this, when you actually claim this, you'll probably end up getting the first 4 trades that they have already. And for $1,000, you can get the True Axe Wielder thing, which gives you everything that they've ever done, PDFs, EPUBs, anything that they currently have in stock right now, and any other special things that they come up with ever, right? And that's pretty cool. Again, this is a bit out of my price range, but it's really, really interesting that they have all of these things, right? And depending on how many people sign up, you can actually unlock special rewards, right? So if you were in the first 50 people that's to sign up, you got a free copy of Barbaric Volume 1. I'm guessing this is a digital version. Or it's free, but charge you get charged for shipping later. If you were part of the 100, you got a Barbaric single issue. It was a mystery one. They'll just send you one. Hopefully, they don't send normal editions. They send variant cover editions. If you were part of the first 200, you get a free code for a Vault ebook. And there's more unlocks. And I'm guessing that if you're part of the first tier, you get all the tiers afterwards. If you're part of the second tier, you don't get the first tier, but you get all the ones afterwards. And it kind of goes on like that, right? There's more exclusive stuff once you get to 300 signups. But I don't know. There's also this cool comic book here that's kind of like a web comic that kind of tells you, hey, this is what's happened so far, just in case you're, recapping or you're not aware of it before. And there's a bunch of other stuff, right? But overall, I think this is a pretty cool concept. I hope that they do more of this. I hope that this is successful to them. It doesn't seem like it's been that successful. I think it's because they used Zoop instead of some other backer website, because as far as I understand it, Zoop is a really small, kind of relatively new backer kit type thing, or crowdfunding campaign type thing. And also, I'm not really sure that many people are aware that it's going on, right? So that's why I wanted to make the video. Now I want to talk about Barbaric, right? So I have all of the stack here. So here are the first 3 issues. This is the beginning of the story. It introduces us to Owen, who is a barbarian. It introduces us to Axe, which is his companion. It's this thing here. It's kind of similar to Death Dealer, but instead of having a helm that talks to him, he has an axe. And basically, Owen is a barbarian that got these witches mad at him for some reason, and these witches turned out to be like the crones, like the ladies of fate, right? And so they cursed him to have to help out everyone that asks for help, everyone that deserves help for the end of time. He's essentially immortal. He can't die, as I remember. And he has the axe to deal with. And the axe goes drunk when it has too much blood. And so it kind of goes crazy, but it forces him to help people in need always, right? We also get introduced to the main female character here, who is Soren, who is a witch. Let me see if any of these have a picture of her. Yes, they do. That's Soren right there. She looks better in the comic book, but this cover is pretty cool regardless. And She is Owen's companion. I don't think that there's a romantic setting between them, like a romantic setup between them, but I'm sure there will be at some point because they're just kind of like really close and always together, right? And so that is kind of like a thing that would eventually happen. Then we have Barbaric, Harvest Blades, which introduces this character. It's kind of like just a side story to help us get into the start of the next arc. You don't necessarily have to read this, but it probably does help, right? So hopefully you can get a copy of this at some point. And if not, I'm sure that they'll have it collected somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is at the moment. That leads into book 2, Axe to Grind. This is the second arc. There you go. And there's the last one here. And this one is about Owen, Soren, and the lady from Harvest Blades, I can't remember her name, fighting against this orc dude. Right there, as you guys can see at the end. And introducing us to this witch character. And to Owen's old friend here, who is also a barbarian, but he turned into a vampire. And he's like cursed with immortality. And this was pretty cool as well. I really enjoyed this one. Overall, I really enjoy Barbaric. I think it's great. However, if you're a fan of classic sword and sorcery, and you like the type of like stoic badass character, you might not necessarily like this kind of story. Because, yes, it has a stoic main character. Yes, it has badass stuff. Yes, it has sword and sorcery. But it has a very kind of modern sensibility in terms of like the writing and the jokes and stuff like that, right? And so that's not necessarily for everyone, especially if you're like a 75-year-old dude who only likes Conan and then you decide to read Barbaric. You might not like the kind of modern humor that's associated with the series, but you will probably really enjoy the artwork, which is phenomenal, and the character of Owen, right? But I think your mileage may vary there, right? So yeah, and then the third series is called Hell to Pay. This is issue 1 and issue 2 and issue 3, and this is probably my favorite cover ever. And this series takes Owen to Hell, and he's stuck there. And when he's there, he meets his old friend who was basically maybe more or less the love of his life, but also someone that was the leader of his barbarian band, and someone that he cares about a lot, and someone that he feels like he killed. And so he meets up with her again. They travel through hell while Soren and the lady from Harvest Blades are doing something above ground. They end up kind of converging on the same spot, and Owen and what's her name? Death something or Sword something. I can't remember her name. This lady end up coming back to the land of the living, right? And it was a really, really good story. It was really similar to the Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer series from Opus that was coming out at the same time. However, I think Barbaric handled it better and a lot more fun because the kind of modern comedy that it has makes it a lot more enjoyable to read, right? But, mileage may vary again. Then that launches us into the Queen of Swords, which is a side story. Basically, this is like the girl power story. It has the lady from Hell to Pay, the lady from Harvest Blades, and this other character that we get introduced to in Hell to Pay as well, going off on an adventure to save this girl from her older sister, who has a tie with Soren as well. It's really cool. If you read The Mighty Barbarians, which is also written by Michael Moresi, if I remember correctly, you might find some similarities there. But again, this is really cool. This is probably the least enjoyable series so far, in my opinion, but it was pretty cool, right? So yeah, I don't really have too much to say about this one because, to be honest with you, this was a lot less impactful than the other series that I'm mentioning already, so I can't remember too much about it. But if you're like a sword and sorcery fan and you want female main characters, that's probably the way to go. And then we have Barbaric, Wrong Kind of Righteous, which is a side story. It's kind of like an in-between story for what's happening at the end of Queen of Swords and Hell to Pay, going into Born in Blood, as far as I understand it. It's written by Michael Moresi and Nicholas Ames, who is well known for writing grimdark fantasy novels. And this is a one-shot, like it says right there. And it introduces us to this evil guy and this flail who happens to be like Axe, right? And so Axe learns that there's another guy like him, and actually in Hell to Pay, we also saw how one of these weapons might be created. And it's basically like sucking like a damn soul into a weapon, and then imbuing it with like some sort of like prime directive, I guess. And flail is supposed to help the righteous, but the definition of this can change based on his wielder. And so his wielder is like a psycho murderer, and his righteousness is based on like following a certain religion that no one really follows. And so he just goes off and kills everyone he kind of wants. And so Owen has to fight him. And this is a really good story. I actually really enjoyed it. The humor was a little bit different here because it was, I think, mostly Nicholas Ames type of humor, not necessarily Michael Moresi's. And so I think this was an interesting read for that. Right, but the artist here was still Gooden, so it was pretty similar through everything else. The only one that was different was actually the Queen of Swords, because the artist here was someone else, someone Howell. I can't remember their name off the top of my head here, but yeah. So that's kind of the overview for the Barbaric series. Again, there's an overview kind of recap comic on the Zoop campaign anyway, so you can just watch that instead. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll leave the links to the campaign down below and to Vault's Twitter as well. And hopefully this helps them get more people, because like, I think the series is great and I also want more people to know it, but also it helps me because I signed up early, and so I want to get more of those cool kind of sign up bonuses, right? So hopefully this helps everyone get more recognition for Barbaric, right? So yeah, those are my thoughts. Those are the things I wanted to say to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something about this awesome series, and hopefully this helps Vault out, right? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys later.